After the West imposed sanctions on Russia, many started claiming how the Russian tank manufacturers have now lost the ability to produce tanks because of the inability to import Western components. This all started when the General Staff of Ukraine made a claim that because thermals can no longer be imported from the West, Russians can no longer produce their tanks. Well, it is true that all exports of thermals and their components have ceased since the outbreak of the war because of the sanctions, but nothing else from that statement is actually true. You see, Russians have been making their own thermals domestically for years now, at least since 2018, but according to some sources even since 2016. They have their own sites with integrated domestic matrices. The matrix in question is the FAM18M03. It is apparently integrated into the thermal site TPKK, which is being used practically on all newly built tanks that utilize thermals, like T80BVM, T90M, etc. They do have materials and they do have the technology to make those, so with thermals there is no problem. I can't blame anyone for thinking that Russians can't put thermals in tanks anymore, since it is widely known that they have been importing French thermals from Thales for over a decade now. But they have also been making them under a license in the meantime, so that probably allowed them to develop necessary things to make new ones themselves. But let us, for the sake of the argument, imagine that they can't in any way produce thermals whatsoever. Why would that stop the production of the tanks exactly? Tanks are much more than just their sights. There are many things you can do to old tanks to upgrade them without thermals. New explosive reactive armor, maybe changing the armor package, adding cage armor, upgrading automatic parts, etc. There is so much that can be done. Even if they had no thermals to put in their tanks, they can still continue upgrading their old tanks, which is exactly what they are doing and they have been doing for a while now, same like anyone else. But as I explained already, they do have thermals, so there is nothing to actually stop them from making tanks right now. It should also not come as a surprise that they are actually able to make thermals, since they were able to make them before importing them from the West, like on some T-80U tanks in the 90s for example. Uralvagonzavod has, since those claims have been made, delivered another batch of T-90M tanks to the Russian armed forces, and they are continuing to make more. Not something you exactly do if you're unable to make tanks. Now, this can actually hurt them in a long run. It is not clear how much of the machinery and tooling is made and imported from the countries that have put up sanctions on Russia, but apparently there is a lot. This can hurt them in a way that it would make them waste time and money on developing something on their own, trying to fix components by reverse engineering them, etc. Of course, they can still import a lot of stuff from China, but even there it is not exactly clear how much of their stuff is domestically produced. I do believe that they will possibly manage to find some solutions, but it will cost them a lot. Whether it will be money or time or both, we can't know yet. But for now, they can continue with the production of their armored vehicles and enjoy it while it lasts. They just better be careful not to break some expensive machinery while they're doing it. That would be all. If you like my content, you can consider supporting me on Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a nice day.